Do you want to become a pro at the Bazaar? I got 5 tips that will improve your game, guaranteed. Let me know down below if any of these help you, and I hope that you like the video. Subscribe for more content. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is evaluate your board. In the Bazaar, you're going to be met with a ton of different encounters at every single step of the game. So you want to be able to know how strong you are, or at least think about how strong you are for when you're taking these options. Because when you're strong in the game, you want to go for the more greedy kind of options. Like if you're satisfied with your board, you might not want to take a risk to go into a shop that probably won't have anything for you. And instead go for the guaranteed money or experience, or even just like chocolate bars. Like sometimes you just want to go for the free stuff just because it's free and you're satisfied no matter what. And that kind of leads into the next point right here, which is number 2. Choose your fights very carefully and use the monster cheat sheet. I'm going to put a link down below to 2 different cheat sheets that will give you the breakdown of all the different monsters that you could fight in the game, because it is important to know what they have, since when you defeat one of the PvE monsters, you will gain one of their items or skills afterwards. So you want to usually fight one that will help out your board, that can maybe, like if you're going a poison build, you want to go against one of the poison monsters, so that you can potentially get one of their skills or items that can help further expand upon your poison build. But also you also want to pay attention to how strong they are, because you need to win these PvE matches. It's very important that you win them for the experience mainly, but also the gold is pretty important as well. I usually like to go for the hard ones whenever I can, because they do give a nice little bonus experience, and that goes a long way. And there's especially some monsters that will give you, like usually the hard monsters compared to the easy and medium will just give you 1 extra experience, but sometimes they give you 2 or 3 more experience than the other ones. So if you can take on those harder matches, you want to go for it, but just be wary that they are very difficult. So that's why checking the cheat sheet for like the amount of health that these monsters have and what kind of abilities and items that they have is very important before going to a battle. And eventually you will just memorize which one has what. But I would recommend checking out the cheat sheet that I'll leave below and choosing your fight based on how strong you think your board is, maybe how strong it performed against the last PvE fight or the PvP fight. Yeah, it's very important to evaluate your board for the fights especially. And for number 3, choosing your encounters very carefully as well. Of course, like I said before, like knowing how greedy you can get is very important, but also you just want to make sure you're not wasting your encounters, because you only get 5 of them a day. One of them is a PvP fight, so you really get like 4, maybe even 3 if you don't consider the PvE fight. So if you waste one of these days, if you waste one of these hours just going into a shop that probably won't have anything for you, like if you're playing Vanessa and you're going like a lot of weapons, small weapons, then going into a large item shop is really not going to help you. So even if you have to go for like a kind of weak option, just sometimes taking the guaranteed route is good, just so you get some kind of value out of the hour, because it's very easy to just waste a day in the Bazaar, and when you waste a day, you fall very far behind. Number 4 is order. Order does matter in the Bazaar. There's a lot of times where you'll have a lot of items in your stash, miscellaneous items, and you'll just be like, I don't really care about this right now, so I'm just gonna throw it away and sell it. But there are times where they do come up, and like saving an item, maybe like an item that when you sell it you get more shield or more poison, could help you along the way. So I would only sell items when you really need to, and I would, like, when you need the money or if you need the space, I would keep the items around for a bit. And yeah, make sure you're doing things in the correct order. Make sure you're buying and selling things in the correct order. This especially is important on Pygmalion, because he is like a min-max kind of hero. He's a very greedy min-max hero that revolves around the economy. So there's a lot of times where you want to save the smaller items, because he has a lot of items that interact with when you sell small items and when you sell like spare change or chocolate bars, stuff like that. So you want to be super greedy with his items, and you want to save all those small items until you really need to sell them, until maybe you're going to a PvP fight and you think you're gonna need the HP or something. I would be very careful on that hero especially. And last but not least, number 5 is to be wary of what's on your board and in your stash, because the game will lean into your decisions that you make, into the items that you have. So I don't know how much it leans into it, but from what I understand and from what a lot of people have told me, is that the items that are on your board and in your stash, that will play a part with the items that get offered to you and the synergies that get offered to you with like the skills as well. So you want to pay attention to what you have on your board. If you're just like keeping around, like I know I did say that you want to keep most of your stuff in your stash like for as much as possible till you need it, but for certain shops that you're going to, especially the skills, it seems, and like the B1 and B2, which is an upgrade thing, it basically like guarantees you upgrades for the items that you have on your stash, in your stash, and on your board. You want to make sure that you sell those things that are unimportant before you go into one of those shops, because the game will likely give you something that's going to upgrade your build and give you extra synergies. This especially is important at the beginning of the game when you're just starting out. You're going to have very limited items, so the game is going to try to help you out and give you some kind of synergies. So yeah, just be extra careful towards the beginning of the game. But also, most shops don't really weigh into you too much. I think it's just mainly the skills and the upgrade shops. And those are my 5 major tips. There's other tips as well, and I'll be making more educational content for sure about the game. I just want to see everybody do well in the game, perform well, and just that's because when you perform well in the game, that's when you have a good time. I mean, I at the beginning of the game, I was pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really know what I was doing too much. There's a lot of different encounters to get used to, and a lot of just min-maxing to get used to with all the gold and the resources that you come across. So it's fun to learn, it's fun to be bad, honestly, but it's a lot more fun to be good and just be stomping and getting perfect runs, as you see. Like, if you want to check out my other videos, I have some gameplay videos, but if you want to come by the stream and see like the unedited content, you know, where I talk through a lot of my decisions and all that, always try to let you guys know what I'm thinking, my thought process behind everything. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, hope it helped. Let me know down below if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.